welcome to your shadow dancing. This is going to be so much fun, and I want to play for you our new commercial. Hello, everyone, and welcome. How is everybody today? So, when you are jumping on, if you could let me know if you are here, I would love to know who is jumping on. If you are listening to the replay, please type in #shadow, because we're going in today to the shadow. And so it's going to be an incredibly fun experience. So I want to welcome everyone as they're jumping in. Please let us know what your profile is. So the work we're going to be doing is around the profiles. So as you're jumping on, let us know what your profile is. So I am a 5-1, and I'd love to know what your profile is as you're kind of as you're jumping on, or if you're listening to the replay. Let me know what your profile is. Hello. Hi, Michelle. So good to see you. You're a 1-4. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, very cool. Very cool. So some of you were asking when you jumped onto the live, it wasn't showing up right away. Usually means you need to refresh. Obviously, if you are needing that information, you might already be here, but just as an FYI. So I want to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing today and how we're going to be processing these couple of live events that we have coming up for you guys. So, we're going to be talking about the shadow side of human design. We're going to be talking about what the shadow is, what the power of the shadow is, why so many people run from their shadow and don't look at it, why it's so important to look at it, what kind of power is contained therein, and what some of the exercises are in order to explore and discover those shadow aspects inside of yourself. So, these are all the things that we're going to be looking at today. And oh, wow, this is crazy. All right, sorry, I'm just checking out a couple of things here, getting organized. Okay, so if you are jumping on, please let me know, say hello, and your profile. That's what we're looking at today. What we're going to be looking at is profile. So, question. Has anybody here done shadow work, where you're diving into the shadow and looking at these dark sides within you? Hello, Cynthia! 5-2. Oh, 5-2. That's another rare one. Welcome. So, when we dive into the shadow aspect, it's the place inside that is very subconscious that we don't often look at. So, the shadow will show up in things like repeat patterns, it will show up in situations with friends, with clients, with partners, where you don't really see, you just notice that there's a pattern that is showing up. The shadow will show up in places like when you have outbursts, when you have emotional outbursts that you're not controlling. The shadow will show up in income ceilings or when you're in a career or a job that you're not happy with. If you are seeing patterns of debt, patterns of being able to spend a certain amount of money, but then the money disappears. These are things where the shadow is showing up. Usually, it is places that you are unaware of, and yet you start to notice patterns. You start to see, wow, a lot of people gaslight me, or I'm constantly bringing in people that act a certain way. All of these things are where the shadow hides. And it's not that you all of a sudden see the shadow. You all of a sudden see a repeat pattern. You see places where there's cyclical um, discomfort. Maybe you have a some type of illness in the body that keeps reappearing. All of these things are where you would have shadow. We know shadow in human design by looking at those not self themes. So oftentimes generators, when they're not living out their truth, they're going to find themselves in frustration. The manifestors will find themselves having outbursts of anger. And projectors feel, why doesn't anyone know me? Why is it so hard for me? All of these things. This bitterness is the taste of the projector, right? So all of these things are not self themes. So welcome everybody. Hello Kelly. Welcome. Welcome. So what I'm asking you to do is when you jump on, if you can let me know what your profile is, I would love to be able to address your profile. We're going to be looking at profile today. So let me know what your profile is in the chat. If you would, I would love to know what your profile is. So why shadow work? And it sounds like some of you already do shadow work. Some of you have already been sort of looking at it and looking inside. Hey, Nikki, 1-3 generator. Awesome, awesome. So happy you made it. So what we are looking at is, you see, the shadow is a place that we don't directly see, but it appears. We also will see emotional dysregulation. We'll see self-sabotage. We'll see places where you have fear of intimacy, places where you have depression, anxiety. Some of these things we don't necessarily see in the human design chart, right? We see them in personal types of experiences, in addictions, in compulsive behaviors, in living a double life. Meaning you go to work and then you come home and you can be yourself, right? You have petty battles, maybe. You have like online battles, or maybe you have where you're pushing people down in order to get on top, those types of things. You have unconscious, um, like I was saying before, outbursts. Does anyone ever experience these types of things? Let me know in the chat. I would love to know if you guys relate to that. So sometimes also what shadow will be is something you long for that feels out of reach. So you kind of long for a sense of well-being, or you long for a career that you love, or you long for something that is just out of reach, right? That might be how the shadow is showing up. And so today I'm going to be giving you guys some exercises, and here's the reason why. When you turn around and you actually look at the shadow, the only thing that isn't, the only thing that doesn't um, help is when you ignore the shadow. If you turn around and you tap into it, and there's ways to uncover it. When you turn around and you look at it, what happens is you start to realize that that is that place of explosive creativity, that place where you have increased self-awareness, the place where you can now deepen your connection to other people. Oftentimes it's that place where there's an extreme outburst of um, feelings of satisfaction, the feelings of joy, all of those things come when we tap in and we look at the power that oftentimes is repressed. That's what shadow work is. It's looking at that hidden place where you will be able to tap into some magic. Okay, so it's pretty exciting. And so if you guys haven't heard, this is kind of a plug for my new book, Illuminating Human Design, The Shadow Side of Profiles, where I really go through all of the shadows. I actually do all of type, all of inner authority, as well as profiles. And it's a very, very deep, deep dive. I'm going to be taking you through some of these shadow dancings. I'm going to be taking you through these exercises as we go through these live events so you can experience what it means to tap into the shadow. And if you want to go a little bit deeper and you're ready to purchase Illuminating Human Design, The Shadow Side of Profile, let me know. Everybody who purchases the book is immediately going to get our free gift. We send that to you via email, and also you're going into a drawing for a free human design reading. So I can kind of go through your chart just a little bit and experience the deeper dive into your chart. So if you are interested in going into the drawing for the free reading, let me know in the chats. I'd love to know. And also, if you did purchase the book and you didn't get the free gift, let me know too, because that means that I didn't get your email address. So we need to get your email address in order to send you all of the free gifts. Yeah? So, hi Lucille. The free book, the free gifts are coming for any pre-orders. Here's the book. Do you love the cover? I love it so much. I am so excited about it. So I hope you guys love it too. This is really it was a labor of love, and it's a real in-depth look at profile, and I'm going to start today. So I want to know everybody's profile. So far I have a 1-3, I have a 2-5, I have a 1-4. I'm going to pick the number that I see the most often. So everybody go ahead and type in the chat. If you're listening to the replay, just go ahead and type in as well. So hello everyone on Instagram. I'm so excited to see you here live as well. Go ahead and let me know in the chat what your profile is. I would love to be able to address it directly. Hello. So let me know in the chat what your profile is. I'm trying to see if I can see a chat on Instagram, but I don't. Okay. So that's just how that goes down. That just goes down that way. Hey, Jennifer. So exciting. I know, right? 4146. Hey, Vicky, you made it. You bought it? Ah, thank you. So if you didn't get your free gift, please let us know. And the way to do that is to PM me your email address, or you can email support@raquelreina.com if you bought it and you didn't get your free gift, okay? So I'm going to take the investigator. I'm going to take the investigator today. So investigators, or if you know an investigator, raise your hand. Investigator, or if you know an investigator, raise your hand. I would love to see. So it's crazy. I see like 100 people on Instagram, and then it goes down. I don't see any comments, and maybe people are jumping off. So it would be great though if I could see one comment. It's okay. 1-3. I think people. Okay, good. All right. So investigators. Let's talk about it. Are you guys ready? All right. So here's the deal. What I see the most is people learn human design. Is that what it is? You're losing service? Okay. So people learn human design. And then there's sort of this notion of, once I know my human design, everything in life works out great for me. Follow my strategy and inner authority, I'll have a six-figure business. Follow my strategy and inner authority, I'm going to have the partner of my dreams. I follow my strategy and inner authority, and I'm going to, you know, have everything work out for me. And then it actually does work, usually pretty much right out the gate for a while. And then you get to the point where you're like, wait a minute, I still have A, B, and C I'm trying to create. And A, B, and C I want to manifest. And so you then bump up against those sabotaging forces within you. That's your subconscious, your shadow. You bump up against wounding. You bump up against trauma. You bump up against things that take you out of that zone of genius. And oftentimes we see this also in transference. We see this in the not self theme. We see this in so many places in the chart. And the reason why I love doing shadow work based in the chart is because you get to fine tune how the shadow is operating for each person. So, in other words, you can do shadow dancing, you can do shadow work, and you can utilize specific things in your life, but when you look at it based in your human design chart, you can really explore things that are unique to your energies, right? So it becomes a really powerful experience because, like anything with human design, it's very specific. It specifically nails you, right? So if you guys know your profile, you'll know that that profile is an incredible deep dive archetypal energy that assists you in discovering who you are and how you operate in the world and how people will see you and how you see yourself. So, for example, we have the six primary archetypes that most people know in human design: the investigator, the hermit, the martyr, the opportunist, the heretic, and the role model. Now, each one of these will support you in understanding how the world sees you and how you can operate in your business. So, what I notice the most is that most people in their moving forward in their businesses is when they stop being able to really have success is when they're operating in the flip side of their profile. I mean, of course, there are a lot of things in the chart, but today we're going to look at the shadow side of investigator. So, Linda is a 1-3 also. We've got a lot of ones. Awesome. So, if you guys are ready to hear what we call the shadow side of the line one, give me a yes in the chats and I will go deeper in. Okay, so if you are jumping on, please give me your profile. Put it in the chats if you wouldn't mind. I would love to know what your profile is if you're just jumping in. Okay. You curious, Michelle? Line one motivation will do it too, or the color one, right? So if you have fear motivation, this will definitely support you as well. Yay! Thank you guys for the yeses. I love it. Now, I'm going to say one other thing. If you guys feel that this information might support anybody who needs to understand their profile or their human design, if you watch them and you know that they are living in their not self theme, or they're spiritual, they're curious about human design, I'm going to ask that if you feel called to share, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you do share, just let me know in the chats. And so we're doing two things, okay? Anyone who pre-orders, you're getting a free gift right away. And then we are doing a drawing for a free human design reading. And so the human design reading is going to be next week. So I'm going to pull one person and look at their chart directly. Everyone will learn from it, everyone will get support from it, but I'm going to call one person and kind of go back and forth with them. And we are going to do this one on Zoom next week. So if you feel like you either can pre-order the book or share the video, and you will go in the drawing. I'm going to pull one person, pull their chart, and kind of go through their chart. So it'll be fun. So that's what we're going to do next week. If you are wanting to do it, let me know and I will send you the Zoom link. It's going to be a deep dive. We're going to go through all the shadow elements next week in one person's chart. Also, I'm going to do some coaching. So if you need coaching in your business, why is my business not working out for me? What can I do to get to my next level in my career? Maybe it's relationship. Wherever you are in your life, we will meet you where you are, and we will do the coaching based on your personal chart. So just let me know if you shared, let me know if you purchased. You will go in the drawing. Okay, so right now what I want to talk about is one profile. This way I can support you. We can do um one sort of deep dive insight. And I'm also going to give you guys some shadow dancing exercises today to support you in uncovering where you might be holding the shadow, regardless of your profile. So we call shadow 1 the investigator in traditional human design. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much for sharing. Mwah. I love you. So the shadow side is called the inquisitor. And what we mean by the inquisitor, when the investigator moves into the shadow, they are not investigating for the highest good of themselves or the other. You want to see this in terms of how you might look at the tabloids. Okay? The tabloids will investigate someone in their darkest shadow. Let's talk about the Inquirer. If you guys remember the Inquirer, is that still around? I think it is. Well, you know what? There's so much tabloid stuff online now. They show up in TikTok videos, they show up in all kinds of things like this, tabloids, right? So when you're investigating to the negative, so you're digging in, digging in, digging in, digging in until you find the dirt on someone, and sharing that level of investigation is not necessarily for the highest good of all concerned. So the inquisitor finds, okay, here's what's really interesting about the inquisitor in the shadow side is that it finds and looks for the heresy, and then it destroys the heresy. So those of you who are 1/5s, if your 1 is not operating at the highest level, then your 5 is literally destroyed by the shadow side of the investigator. So most people are 5/1s, where the 1 is in the red, and you're not even aware of the deep subconscious negative that's happening in that line 1. So perhaps you don't even realize how you dig things up or destroy your foundation, or you don't realize that you're not standing on a solid foundation. The line 1 is foundational, and yet we avoid foundation. We avoid that place where we are feeling strong and standing. We avoid that. Why do we avoid it? Why do we tear it apart? Because the 1, when not operating correctly, is digging so deeply. It finds a problem and then it rips the foundation apart. It finds that place where they're unhappy and then it focuses in on it. It's kind of like that pebble in your shoe that's always bugging you, and yet the pebble has made an indentation, and even when there's something not negative there, the investigator searches for the negative until it finds something new to be negative about. So, in other words, look at your friends, look at your circle. Do you see the negative in people around you? Do you search until you see a negative situation? Do you then decide this person is not really going to be my friend. This person is not really going to be in my life. Do you do that with the way in which you operate in your business? So perhaps you may have started in on, so for example, my history, my background is spiritual psychology. I come to human design after years and years of investigating spiritual growth, spiritual development. And then I realized that in my spiritual psychology, I was working on all of the energies coming in through my solar plexus, coming in through my sacral, that wasn't mine. So, for a good 5 years of getting my master's degree, going into therapy, I was processing emotions that were not mine. I was running out of steam because I was absorbing and amplifying my sacral. I'm sorry, absorbing and amplifying the sacral around me. So, my choice would have been to either stand on that foundation of my spiritual growth, my spiritual work, and leap into this new direction of human design, or destroy my past, destroy the spiritual psychology, destroy the work that I had done up until this point. You see? So, if I would have not leapt from this foundation and instead had to tear apart everything I did in my spiritual work, which I wanted to do, because after doing so many years of processing other people's stuff, you get to the point where you wonder, why am I just processing? Why am I going on and on and on about emotions? Because in human design, we begin to realize that sometimes when you process a story, you create more story. You don't need to process. As a matter of fact, when the mind gets involved in the work you're doing, in the shadow work you're doing, it can spin you out for years and years and years. And so, the main point that we try and teach in human design is to be able to transcend that piece of the mind, causing the shadow to replay and replay and replay. But you can see the archetypal energy in that line one when you're researching, investigating, and seeing something that's not quite working and then destroying it. Now, when the Inquisitor understands that the research can be driven either through the negative or the positive, right? Instead of the fear of insecurity, I don't know enough, it's the curiosity. I love this experimentation. I love this deep dive. When the Inquisitor goes back to the investigation through the curiosity and not the fear, they pop into the highest expression, which is the wise sage. So in the book, I go through the darkest of each profile, the gift of each profile, and then the highest expression and the transformation needed in order to live in the highest expression. For the wise sage, you research out of the curiosity rather than the fear. And you turn into the wisest, deepest person in the room because you've gone so deep, but you've done it through curiosity. You've done it through wanting the best for each person involved. You've done it through this level of high investigation. Not the fear, not I want to destroy, not I want to see the worst in people. Do you guys see the difference? Now, what I want to do is, are you guys interested, all of you that are here live, are you interested in doing a little shadow dance with me? Type a yes in the chat if you are ready to do it. Now, this is going to be for everybody, every type, every inner authority. Those of you guys that are staying with me through this journey, I want to take you into a bit of a shadow dance. So let me know if you would be willing to go through this with me. Give me a yes or a no in the chat, or if you are listening to the replay, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I'm going to take a little sip of tea. Yes, Linda? Thank you. Yes? Hey, Becky. Yes, you ready? Okay. So, what I want you guys to do is take in a breath with me and come into this moment. And I want you just to scan the body for feelings of anger, discomfort, annoyance, something that you can feel in the body, some type of experience you've had where maybe a friend annoyed you, you got a bad comment. I want you just to take a breath in with me, and I guarantee you everyone has something. There is shadow. There is shadow. It happens. If you feel you've transcended the shadow, that might be your shadow. Because it is a journey and we're all going deeper and deeper. So take in a breath with me, and I want you just to feel into that feeling you've most recently felt. That's a feeling of annoyance, a feeling of frustration, a feeling of anger. And I want you to actually bring that into the body as the biggest feeling that you can possibly have. So usually what happens is you dilute that feeling. So it's like you push it down. I don't have time for this right now. I don't have time to worry about that person. And you kind of push it away. But yet it circles back around with behaviors, with situations, with things that happen in your life. So right now, I want you to bring it to be the biggest feeling inside the body possible. I want you to feel it completely. Feel the energy of that moving through your body. Take in a breath with me and feel the energy, feel the anxiety, feel the stress. And I want you to just allow that feeling to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And tell me where in your body you notice that feeling. Where do you feel it? Is it in your heart? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your stomach? Where is it? Where do you feel that discomfort? And just feel it. And I want you to just allow yourself to sit and expand and hold a bigger vibrational position in your body. What I like to call your highest self, your wise inner guru. It expands so big, and it begins to now watch that energy from the highest branch in the tree. Or you might see it like you are at the top of a penthouse and that energy is at the bottom. So you feel it in your heart or in your throat or your head, Nikki? Yeah. So now I want you to just allow yourself to move into the guru level, that place of your wisest sage, your highest divine self. And it expands so big, so aligned, so full. that the energy of the discomfort gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And the wisest aspect of yourself is now asking, how can you see this from a new perspective? How and what do you need to learn from this experience? And I want you to know that the wisest place can take up all of the energy in the room, the wisest energy. And now notice where the wisdom is held. Where do you feel the wisdom? Where do you feel the highest guru? Does it change the energy in the body? Does it change the frequency as we're sitting here together? Does the energy shift? Do you now feel maybe your arms and your legs tingling? Maybe you're feeling lighter. And I want you to ask yourself, how can I see this situation from a new perspective? What is the greatest gift? What can I learn from this? And breathe in. Come back into your body. And allow yourself to bring in the greatest wisdom. Take a few minutes to write this down, to journal. And I want to say thank you for everybody who's here live and everybody who would like to join in. We will be back next week, so I hope to see you then. We will go deeper and deeper into the shadow. Spend some time journaling this out, feeling the difference between the negative and the highest aspect of self.